And I see you're starting to see young guys now starting to really emerge. Like I've been talking about Parker Washington all offseason, saying I think he's going to have a huge season. And he now clearly is as good as anyone in this camp, as good as anyone in either side of the ball for the Jags this camp. And I said this earlier this summer, and people may not like to hear this, but I'm telling you right now, he's the reason that next year Christian Kirk won't be here. Because they're not going to pay Christian Kirk what he wants when they've got Parker Washington, who's basically the same player. If he emerges like he shows he's doing right now, he looks good. Tank Bigsby looks good. He's starting to play at a different level than what he was at last year. Another big situation where now you're going to start to use him a little more. You're going to start saving some tread on ETN, which I think is critical. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there are positive things to take away, no doubt. There's also some just annoying negative things that it's just not good. And we've said this over and over again. If they get an injury on the offensive line, it's not going to be good. Yeah. And it's not good as it is with the starters, but it'll be a lot worse. Right. So we'll hit a good, bad, ugly as we get going today. You guys are definitely welcome to jump in, 641-1010. As far as things that you like, didn't like, worry about, any of those things, you can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Of course, on YouTube, you can stream us. Go back and watch the whole show if you miss it. One day this week, all you got to do is just hit YouTube, search 1010XL or XL Primetime, and go back and watch it. But you can jump in the MyBookie Digital Studios, throw some thoughts at us, especially if you were at the game the other night. I feel like this is a deeper roster. There's no doubt about that. And you have more guys that are vying to earn spots on this football team, and it's pretty dang evident. But let's just stay with the quarterback right now. Mac Jones with C.J. Beathard flipped spots instead of C.J. coming in after Trevor. You didn't see T-Law suited up at all. So C.J., who came in after 16 last year, and then Mac got the second half, opposite of that, where Mac had the first half and then C.J. came in. I liked what I saw from Mac. I really did. And he's delivering the football on time, throwing guys either open or in tight spaces. There was one throw where Elijah Cooks could have made this roster on that one throw. I know that's a little bit of hyperbole. That's a little bit of exaggeration. But Mac delivers a dime between two defenders, and Elijah has a chance to haul it in and maybe even split him and turn upfield and didn't come away with the football. You got to make those plays, especially when we're talking about the wide receiver room being as deep and competitive as it can be.
He might have hurt himself that last game.
Well, it's funny because
he did not play well.
I listed two plays before that where there was a defensive penalty on him where he easily could have made a catch and turned it into positive yards, yet the penalty negated it because the defender picked off Mac because he was dragging Elijah, then turned and picked off Mac. Anyway, it came back, and Elijah could have made that play. And then another one where there's no question that he was open and the ball wasn't delivered on time. Anyway,
he also had a holding call on special teams, which we talked all along. He's got to be able to play special teams.
Very true.
I mean, there's so many moments in the game where I'm watching the game and I'm saying, either that catch, if you miss that catch, that get you cut. If you miss that tackle, that gets you cut. Those are the kind of and no one knows. I mean, you don't know. Like you said, that catch, that turn up, that touchdown. Now the coaching staff in the meeting room is watching that and saying maybe this kid's got a shot. Right. But when you miss plays like that, where I'm saying those kind of plays, whether it be offensively or defensively, can get you cut. But when you were talking about Mac Jones, listen, he just over the preseason alone, he's an upgrade from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, he's playing with house money. We've all been out there. We've seen him. He's having a great time. All right. I don't know if it's the pressures of being a first-round pick, with New England. Now he's here as a backup where he can just go out and be relieved, but he seems like he's playing that way. Even in practice. I remember I was sitting around, it was me and Hacker, and with somebody else, and he ran in the end zone. He threw the football in the end zone, and I was saying to myself, wow, backup quarterback, on the ball in the end zone. I said, what would TC do? That's what came in my mind. But I mean, TC, a backup quarterback throwing the ball in the football.
He'd have made you go up in the stands and get that ball.
Right there. But no, listen, he's playing with house money. He seems relaxed. He seems fancy. He seems to be enjoying himself. Yeah. And even when we saw him play saw him play on Saturday. He's enjoying making those plays, and it's refreshing to see.
Yeah, I look at those two, and there's a reason. All you got to do is watch them play in that game. There's a reason they signed Mac Jones. I just don't think C.J. Beathard physically can handle it anymore. Yeah, I think he's constantly getting injured. He doesn't have the arm strength that Mac Jones has.
It's obvious. It's obvious that the chasm of talent and ability between the two is real.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any question that Mac is the backup. And the question then becomes is, do you keep CJ on the practice squad because no one's going to sign him?
Right.
Do you keep him on the practice squad just to be around Trevor and to help Trevor because apparently they're buds? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, very
why not?
possible.
Why not? But he's not the backup.
No.
Mac Jones is the backup, and we've talked about this for a long time now since they signed him. They're going to have to win a game with him. And because, look, it's the NFL. Quarterbacks get hurt. At some point, he's going to have to play for them and play a significant portion of a game where it's on him.
Right.
And I think he's got the ability to win a game, and that's why they signed him.
Yeah, that's what you want more than anything else. And that, if you're looking at just one position that will tell you the depth is better on this football team, it probably is that position. We already kind of set the table, but let's go good just to begin with as far as what you liked the most Saturday night, and then you guys can chime in as well.
Well, I mean, the obvious would be say Mac Jones, the way he played in the game would be the good, but I'm not going to go Mac Jones. I'm going to go offensive line. I'm going to go Anton Harrison for the limited time he was in there.
Nice.
Anton Harrison, the limited time that he was in the game, right, he got after, especially on that one toss sweep play when he knocked down two guys or whatever. That's the kind of temperament that I was looking for from this kid. He is no longer a rookie. He's a seasoned vet, so to say.
Yeah.
And that kind of attitude adjustment that he's doing as far as run blocking and pass protecting, that's what I want to see week in and week out.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
You know what's the best part about him on the field right now is he looks like he should be there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he looks like this is where I am. This is who I am. You know, he's got that air about him. You know what I mean? Like I think he's going to be a really, really good player in this league, and I think he's going to be their left tackle next year.
Yeah, but typically, most of your design run plays, at least you've always heard this, they're busted off that right side. If you've got two road graders, which Sheriff and Harrison could be that. Sheriff obviously has to be healthy.
He just looks like a dude, right? Like when you see him in practice, you can tell like it's him. And the rest of the offensive linemen don't look anything like him. He's different from the rest of the offensive linemen. Cam's probably the closest person to him, right?
True, yeah.
But he's unique, right?
Yeah, well, here's the thing about him. He's starting to know and believe that he's probably the best player on the line.
Yes, that was kind of my point with the aura around him.
Yeah, so now he's going to play accordingly. You know, the rookie, you're trying to get your feet wet, don't want to step on any toes, don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Right now Anton's like, listen, I'm the best on this line. And I'm going to start playing accordingly.
Basically, what he's saying is he lands on saying, I'm the badass.
I'm the man.
Line.
Well, and I don't,
which is what he is.
Right.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, and it's funny. He may slide over to the left, just depending on what does happen. I can't right now see a world where they would say, hey, we got to keep paying Cam to be that
he's
guy.
their left tackle.
I can't see that world, but I also still can see a Walker Little world, so I don't know exactly how this is going to go. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with that as far as the good is concerned.
So my good, I think, is – and it's kind of been happening all camp, really, is Chattanooga starting to develop. It's taken him a couple years, but I think he's now comfortable out there on the field. He's now flying two spots instead of, like, reacting two spots. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So he's – I was watching thinking, all right, I think he gets it now. And sometimes it takes guys a little longer to get it, but you're talking about a guy that's like 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds that can run.
Yeah.
So if he does get it and the light does come on, they've got a player there.
And the thing is that now with a new look defense, and you're asking Devin Lloyd to basically work from inside, and Muma, when they basically are going full with a 4-3 alignment, he has a chance to do some things in coverage and still be a physical player from that linebacker spot. So yeah, he definitely has drawn some eyes, some attention, and if Ryan Nielsen can scheme him up, along with what Foye and obviously Devin Lloyd are going to be asked to do, that's definitely good. My good is 4. Tank at the bank. That guy definitely is showing that extra element, evolution as a runner in the National Football League. I'll probably come back to him with an ugly as well, but for right now, Tank looks like when I interviewed him, I said, Tank, Travis Etienne had 5 times as many carries as you did last year. It was a 5-to-1 ratio. That needs to change. It needs to be a 3-to-2 ratio, something like that. And I firmly believe this guy is getting to a point where he is going to be a nice, I don't even know if I'd call him change of pace back, just a nice, solid guy that you can hand the football off to with confidence. And this guy's starting to see those little lines, Leon,
like coming off of the butt of Anton on that one run.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are key.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's been having a great camp. He caught some passes, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. Not only is he's utilizing his tackle outside the tackle, in between the tackles, but he's got to be versatile enough to catch the ball as well, and that's what he did in the second half. So that was good to see. He's been having, listen, when I saw him early on in camp and he started, making those runs and everything, I said, you know what? I'm not going to let him do it to me again. Because last year, the same thing happened last year. We were talking about how phenomenal Tank was and how, he was going to press ATN and all this other kind of stuff, and then he waffled. But this year, I'm hoping.
We were fooled.
We were fooled. But I think he's a little bit more legit this year.
I do too, but yeah. I wouldn't go as far as saying 3-2. No way. I mean, I'm getting ETN's getting 70% of those touches. No matter
probably
run or pass, at least 70%.
I think I'm just trying to get off of that 5-1.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that, but I also think I wouldn't get off it to the point of you're taking carries away from ETN. He's a much better player than Tank Bigsby.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Third and 2, who are you giving the ball to? 4th and 1.
I mean, it depends. It depends on.
I'm just saying. I mean, ATN is more of a pin. He's more like a bowling ball, in my opinion. I'm right now.
I don't want to take anything away from ATN.
So here's my answer to that. I would give it to Bigsby because I don't want Travis Etienne absorbing those blows on the third and short when everybody's packed in.
Exactly.
And you got to run between the tackles. I think he's very underrated between the tackles. But if you've got everybody in the box and you're trying to get a yard, I don't want him trying to get that yard. I would much rather have Bigsby trying to get that yard.
But I still think Etienne represents so much in terms of I'm not just running it up the middle. And Tank still has proven he can get out of the backfield and he can do some things as well. But I definitely believe that Etienne's poised for what will be a
well, I was just saying, because listen, in crucial moments, don't get me wrong, now, Tank Bigsby, I mean, he hasn't been in the crucial moments that Etienne has been in. The games where he has to get the yard and all that kind of stuff. And it had a lot to do with the fact that the coaching staff, didn't believe or trust him in some capacity. I'm just hoping that Tank Bigsby from this camp in this preseason, that the coaching staff have a little bit more belief in him in those crucial moments where we got to get a yard, got to get a 2. Don't want ATN to be taking those hits, those shots and stuff like that. And put him in there and hopefully he can get those yards that we desire.
Yeah, because Tank, the other night, 3.7 yards because he had 10 totes, 37 yards, and he did catch the ball 2 or 3 times, and so that's also a positive. But just the idea that you're not putting one guy in there and eliminating the possibility of something else, that I do think is real important when it comes to any of these guys. All right, bad.
Bad is penalties. I mean, I know it's the preseason. I know it's a bunch of guys, backup guys, and whatever, but you can't tolerate penalties. 9 penalties is way too much. All right, too many for a preseason game. And you got to make those corrections. Just silly penalties, holding penalties, all that kind of stuff. You've got to make it a point of emphasis in the film room when you address these things that, penalties in this league can get you beat.
Yeah.
It can absolutely get you beat. And that's got to be refreshed in every player's mind that we can't allow penalties, those kind of penalties, even in the preseason, because those kind of penalties will get you beat when it comes to the real thing.
All right, my bad is just it's bad that there's not a spot on this roster for training camp Trammell. Because, I mean, Austin Trammell's done everything you want.
It's a good bad, though.
It is, but he's done everything that's been asked of him at camp. He catches everything out there, man.
Yeah.
Gets in the game, catches everything. Blocks well on the outside, on the perimeter. He's had a great camp, but it's literally a numbers game. What your point is, Tim Jones is the best special teams guy they've got.
Yeah, he's what you describe as a 4-core special team.
You are not going to, if it comes down to him or any other receiver, he's going to have the advantage because he's the special teams guy. The majority of his plays will be made on special teams, and the 6th receiver typically does not get on the field. I get all of that, okay? I understand the concept of that. I understand why you do that. My point is I can see that cat playing in the league somewhere and catching 30, 40 balls.
Yeah.
He's a tough dude that gets open and catches the ball. There is a place in the league for him. Somebody will pick him up if they put him on the practice squad. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and he at the end was handling punt return for the Rams last year. So he was a starter in that respect. Right. And so he was on the 53, and so that's what you got to figure out. But ahead of him, just as far as return game goes, you have a dynamic Duvernay. I love
You got
Duvernay.
Parker Washington.
And
you got
Parker.
Christian Kirk. That's covered. Yeah.
And we don't even know how the kickoff's going to go, how these guys are going to handle that. You could even see, I don't think Keelan Robinson necessarily makes the 53, but there's another guy that could be. And Tank has been back there on kickoff as well. All right, so my bad is the other half of Tank. is that early on there was a clear blitz pickup and he didn't handle it. And so those are the things that the coaches are going to ride him on. That was one of the things that got him in a little bit of trouble last year. Obviously, holding on to the football was also another part of it, but that's a big deal. And you got to make sure that you have that handled, or you're not going to be out there. You can't get Trevor in a situation where he's getting clobbered. No question about that. So I'd put that as a bad. All right, let's do a real quick ugly because and then we'll get to the
ugly.
other.
My ugly would be the 5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Gave 5 sacks. That would be my ugly.
Yeah.
Not good. I don't care who's out there. You got to protect whatever quarterback's out there. 5 sacks too many.
Yeah, I mean, the ugly, it's like we say week after week. It's the interior of the offensive line. It's not good. It's not good. And what's behind the starters, we saw that for 4 quarters, and it was not good, period.
I'll piggyback it with my tweet, and it was ugly. Luke got beat. Mac took off, gain of 6. And so the ugly part of it was Luke got beat. And you're talking about a guy.
Shatley got beat. Cooper Hodges got beat, like badly too. Not just beat, but badly beat.
And you are and you guys have said it. Yeah, you guys have said it more than I've said it. I think the offensive line as a whole is going to be okay, but they're as thin as they come as a starting 5, and then depth beyond that. Yeah, big question mark.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.